sometimes I work with my clients, I'll go straight to this question. I'll say, hey, what's your preferred substance? And they look at me, and then some of them are really quick to answer. Other ones take a little bit longer, but most of the time they'll come to me and they'll say maybe one or two substances at most, but usually comes down to one. And they'll look at me and they'll say, well, this. And I said, okay, interesting. Now think about this. Let's highlight the word preference. Preference of substance. Why didn't you choose shrooms? Why didn't you choose Molly? Why didn't you choose ecstasy? Why didn't you choose DMT? Why didn't you choose nicotine? Why are you going to this one particular substance? And they look at me and they go, I don't know. I don't know. And I said, let's highlight the word preference. If you're really powerless over it, you wouldn't have preference over it, would you? Right? What if it was really that powerful? If the disease of alcoholism or addiction was that powerful, it would only be able to, it wouldn't be able to make choices on what you're specifically addicted to. It wouldn't matter, right? So the fact that you have a preference of what you like to do more, one over another, let's start thinking more deeply about that and invest in the idea that you actually have a preference of choice of using rather than the actual powerlessness that you're probably going to adopt. And to realize that you can change that preference at any time you want. You don't have to prefer to use alcohol anymore for the rest of your life if you don't want to. Once you change the idea that you're powerless over it and you invest in the idea of preference and you understand that you actually do have a preference for a particular drug, then you'll start to realize that it's not something that you're as powerless over. It's a choice that you've made to have preference over one drug over another. And then we start going deeper and deeper and deeper, and they start to realize that they're probably not as screwed as they think they are.